Hello, everyone. Welcome to part 2 of our Lent devotional series where we're taking a look at some of the different symbols of Lent. And today's focus is going to be thorns. Thorns aren't usually something that we think about when we think about Jesus. Thorns are something that you try to avoid. They're nasty. I actually did some yard work this past weekend where I was trimming some rose bushes, and even wearing those nice work gloves, the thorns were still poking right through those, hurting my hands. And it was annoying. It was frustrating. It wasn't a super pleasant experience. But I suppose even with the thorns poking through gloves like that, it's not nearly as bad as falling into a rose bush or something like that. And it's certainly not nearly as bad as what Jesus had to go through. When Jesus had been arrested, the Roman soldiers that had been put in charge of him heard that he was a king. And because they heard that, they decided they were going to pull a really cruel joke on Jesus. They took a bunch of thorns, they twisted them together into the shape of a crown, and then shoved that crown of thorns onto Jesus' head, and then continued to beat him over the head multiple times. What a horrible thing to happen. I mean, talk about injustice, talk about suffering. Why was this something that was happening? Well, it's actually because Jesus is a king, but a king unlike any other that's ever existed. Jesus is a king who suffers for his people, a king who doesn't go out and conquer countries. Instead, he's a king who goes out and conquers people's hearts. That means that he has conquered your heart too. So this Lenten season, whenever you see thorns in your backyard, if you're doing any yard work and maybe your hands are scraped up by some thorns actually, be reminded of the suffering that Jesus went through, that he is your king who suffered to take away your sin, who has redeemed you, who has made you his own, and who went to the cross so that he could show his eternal love for you. Thanks for watching.